Hello, and welcome back to Today English podcast. My name is Laura, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to clear, confident, and natural English. If you truly love Jesus, like the video, subscribe to the channel, keep watching the video believing in Jesus, you will learn something good, and comment to let us know what you are watching. Your support truly helps this channel grow. All right, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's session. Let me start with a simple question, and I want you to really feel it, not answer it quickly. Have you ever opened your phone, looked at the news, and suddenly felt tired, confused, or even a little scared, without knowing exactly why? You were not there. Nothing happened to you directly. But still, your heart felt heavy. Your mind felt noisy. That is where our story begins today, right here, in a quiet morning that looks very normal, but slowly changes everything. Imagine a person like you. Let us call him Alex. Alex wakes up early, makes a cup of warm tea, and sits by the window. The city outside is calm. Birds are singing. The sky is soft and gray. Alex opens his phone, just to check the news for 5 minutes. That is what he tells himself. But 5 minutes become 10. 10 become 30. Headlines shout at him. Big words. Strong emotions. Fear. Anger. Excitement. Crisis. Disaster. Breaking news. Alex feels his breathing change. His tea gets cold. And he thinks, why does the world feel so loud? This moment is important because this is the moment many English learners experience when listening to news in English. It is not just about language. It is about emotion, speed, and hidden meaning. Alex understands the words. His English is good, maybe even C1 level. But still, something feels wrong. He feels pushed, not informed. He feels led, not guided. And that is when a quiet question appears in his mind, like a small light in a dark room. How can I understand the news without letting it control my feelings? This question is the heart of our journey today. Because critical news analysis is not about being cold or distant. It is about being calm, aware, and awake. As Alex scrolls, he notices something strange. Different news channels talk about the same event, but the stories feel different. One sounds angry. One sounds calm. One sounds scary. One sounds hopeful. Alex stops scrolling. He puts the phone down. He looks at his reflection in the dark screen. And he realizes something important. The news is not just information. It is storytelling. And every story has a voice, a goal, and a direction. This realization is the first small transformation. Not big, not dramatic, just a soft understanding. Alex decides to slow down. He takes a deep breath, and he starts listening, not like a consumer, but like a listener, like a learner, like a storyteller. He remembers something his old English teacher once said: do not only listen to what is said. Listen to how it is said and why. This sentence becomes a key. Alex goes back to the news, but this time, he listens differently. He notices the tone. Is the voice fast or slow? Is it calm or urgent? He notices the words. Are they emotional or neutral? Are they clear or confusing? He notices what is missing. What questions are not answered? What voices are not included? Slowly, the noise becomes a pattern. The chaos becomes a structure. And Alex feels stronger, not weaker. This is the challenge we all face today. News moves fast. English news moves even faster for learners. And emotions travel faster than facts. But here is the good news, and I want you to listen carefully. You do not need difficult words or complex theories to analyze news critically. You need patience. You need curiosity. And you need a calm inner voice that says, let me understand this step by step. As Alex continues his morning, he decides to do a small experiment. He listens to one news story from start to finish without interrupting himself. No scrolling. No comments. Just listening. At first, it feels uncomfortable. His mind wants to jump. But he stays. He listens to the structure. First, the introduction. Then the background. Then the main event. Then expert opinions. Then possible future outcomes. Suddenly, the story feels less scary. Not because the problem is gone, but because it has shape. And shape brings clarity. Alex realizes that critical listening is like learning to see in fog. You do not remove the fog. You learn to move slowly inside it. This is an important reflection for you too, as an English learner. When you listen to news in English, do not try to understand everything. Try to understand the direction. Ask simple questions in your mind. What is happening? Where is it happening? Who is speaking? Why are they telling me this now? These questions are your compass. They keep you balanced. Alex feels something change inside him. The news no longer feels like an attack. It feels like a message that needs decoding. And decoding is a skill. A learnable skill. He smiles a little. His tea is still cold, but his mind feels warm. He realizes that being critical does not mean being negative. It means being awake. It means choosing how you receive information. As the morning light grows brighter, Alex feels ready for the day. Not because the world is suddenly better, but because he feels more prepared to face it. And that is the first takeaway I want to leave with you in this section. When you analyze news critically, you protect your mind and improve your English at the same time. You become a better listener, a calmer thinker, and a stronger storyteller in your own life. This is only the beginning of our journey. In the next part, we will go deeper. We will learn how headlines speak to our emotions and how to listen without being pulled by fear or excitement. For now, take a breath. Let the story settle. And remember, you are not here to fight the news. You are here to understand it, slowly, clearly, and in your own voice. Headphone. Let us continue the story, slowly and calmly, like walking into a quiet room after a storm. Alex is no longer shocked by the noise of the news, but now he notices something deeper, something more subtle. It happens later that same day. He is on the bus, going to work. People are quiet. Some are looking outside. Some are looking at their phones. Alex opens a news app again, but this time, he feels different. He is more aware. The first thing he sees is a headline. Big letters. Strong words. It says something like, "Shocking turn of events. Nation on edge." Alex pauses. He does not click. He just reads the headline again, slowly. And a strange thing happens. He feels his chest tighten, just a little. Not because he knows the story, but because the headline is pulling his emotions. This is a powerful moment, and it is very important for English learners. Headlines are not just summaries. They are emotional doors. They are designed to make you feel something before you think something. Alex realizes that before he even understands the facts, the headline has already spoken to his heart. Fear, urgency, curiosity. These feelings arrive faster than understanding. So Alex decides to stop and observe himself. He asks a simple question inside his mind. What is this headline trying to make me feel? Not what happened, but what am I feeling right now? This small change is a big step in critical analysis. Because when you notice your emotions, you stop being controlled by them. Alex looks around the bus. Everyone looks calm. The world has not ended. The bus is still moving. The sky is still there. And yet, the headline says on edge. Alex smiles gently. He understands now. Headlines often exaggerate. They compress complex situations into emotional signals. They use strong verbs, dramatic adjectives, and sometimes unclear subjects. Nation on edge. Which nation? Who is on edge? Everyone? Or just a few people? Alex clicks the article, but now he reads slowly. The first paragraph repeats the headline, but with a little more detail. Still emotional. Still dramatic. Alex keeps reading. In the third paragraph, he finally sees facts. Numbers. Dates. Quotes. This teaches him something very important. Headlines are often the loudest part, but not the most informative part. For English learners, this is good news. You do not need to understand every word in a headline. You need to understand its purpose. And its purpose is often to catch attention, not to explain reality. Alex starts to practice something new. He reads a headline, then he rewrites it in his mind in calm language. Shocking turn of events becomes something unexpected happened. Nation on edge becomes some people are worried. When he does this, the story feels lighter, clearer, more human. This is a powerful listening and speaking exercise for you too. When you listen to news in English, especially advanced news, try to translate emotional language into neutral language inside your head. You are not changing the facts. You are changing the temperature. Alex notices another thing. Headlines often ask questions. Is this the end of? Are we heading toward? These questions sound serious, but they often have no clear answer in the article. They are there to open loops in your mind, to keep you reading, to keep you worried. Alex decides to close the loop himself. He says quietly, I will read and decide later. This gives him control. As the bus stops, Alex gets off. He walks slowly. The city feels normal again. He realizes that critical news listening is not about being smarter than journalists. It is about being kinder to your own mind. Later that evening, Alex watches a news video in English. The presenter speaks clearly, confidently. The background music is serious. The images are strong. Alex listens carefully. He notices how the voice goes up and down, how pauses are used, how certain words are stressed. This is storytelling. This is not just information. And that is okay. Stories help us understand the world. But stories can also guide our emotions. Alex starts to separate the layers. First layer, facts. Second layer, interpretation. Third layer, emotion. When he listens this way, he feels less confused. He feels like he is standing a little outside the story, watching it instead of being inside it. This distance is healthy. It allows understanding without overload. For English learners, this is also a listening gift. You stop trying to catch every word, and you start catching meaning. Alex reflects on his day. He realizes that he has been trained, like many of us, to react quickly, to share quickly, to feel quickly. But understanding takes time. And time is something we must choose. He decides to make a small rule for himself. He will not react to a headline immediately. He will read, listen, breathe, and then decide what it means to him. This rule changes everything. The news becomes a source of learning, not stress. And his English improves too. He hears patterns, repeated phrases, common structures. He becomes familiar with the rhythm of news language. This familiarity builds confidence. As he prepares for sleep, Alex feels calm. The world is still complex. Problems still exist. But he feels grounded. And here is the takeaway for you from this part of our story. Headlines speak to your heart before they speak to your mind. When you notice that, you gain power. You become a critical listener, a thoughtful English learner, and a calm human being in a loud world. In the next section, we will explore voices in the news. Who is speaking? Who is silent? And why that matters more than we think. For now, rest your mind. You are learning not just English, but wisdom, one slow story at a time. The story continues quietly, like a late evening conversation that makes you think long after it ends. Alex is at home now. The lights are soft. The city sounds are low. He sits at his small desk with a notebook and a pen, not because he plans to study hard, but because he wants to listen better. He opens a news video in English again, the same story he heard earlier, but from a different channel. At first, it sounds familiar. The topic is the same. The main event is the same. But very quickly, Alex feels something is different. The voice is different. The focus is different. The emotions are different. And this is where the next important lesson begins. Alex realizes that news is not one voice. It is many voices. And the choice of voice changes the story. In this video, the reporter interviews a government official. The official speaks calmly, with confident words. He says things like under control and necessary measures. Alex listens carefully. He notices that the questions are gentle. They allow the official to speak freely. Then Alex switches to another channel. Same topic. But this time, the reporter interviews a local person affected by the event. The voice is emotional. The words are simple. The person speaks about fear, confusion, and daily life. Alex feels his chest move again, but this time, it is empathy, not anxiety. He understands something very important now. The news does not only tell us what happened. It chooses who gets to explain what happened. This choice shapes our understanding more than facts alone. For English learners, this is a powerful listening lesson. Different speakers use different English. Officials use formal language. Regular people use everyday language. Experts use careful, slow explanations. When you notice who is speaking, you can adjust your listening. You stop blaming yourself for not understanding everything. You start understanding why the language feels different. Alex writes a simple note in his notebook. Whose voice is this? He decides to ask this question every time he listens to the news. He notices that some stories have many voices, while others have only one. Sometimes, an expert speaks for a long time. Sometimes, no expert speaks at all. Sometimes, a group is talked about, but no one from that group is interviewed. These absences are also part of the story. Silence can be meaningful. Alex watches another report. This one uses words like critics say and some people believe. Alex pauses the video. He thinks, who are these critics? How many are there? Where are they? The report does not say. Alex is not angry. He is curious. He understands that these phrases create the feeling of balance, but they are often unclear. This does not mean the news is lying. It means the news is simplifying. And simplification always hides something. This realization makes Alex a stronger listener. He is no longer just receiving language. He is interacting with it. For you, as an English learner, this is a beautiful moment. When you start asking simple questions while listening, your brain becomes active. You are not passive anymore. Your English grows because it has a purpose. Later that night, Alex listens to a long interview podcast in English. The speaker talks slowly. He explains background, history, and reasons. There are no dramatic images. No fast music. Just a voice and ideas. Alex notices how different this feels. He feels relaxed. He feels informed. He understands more, even though the topic is complex. This teaches him that format matters. Short news clips create urgency. Long conversations create understanding. Neither is bad, but they serve different goals. Alex thinks about his own English practice. He realizes that by choosing longer formats sometimes, he can improve both his listening and his critical thinking. He can hear full sentences, complete thoughts, and natural pauses. He can feel the rhythm of spoken English without pressure. The next day, Alex talks to a friend about the news. He does not repeat headlines. He does not use dramatic words. He says, I heard different people talking about the same event, and they all saw it differently. His friend listens. The conversation is calm. Alex feels proud. He is not just consuming news. He is sharing understanding. This is a transformation. From receiver to narrator. From listener to speaker. And that is the heart of language learning. When you can retell a story in your own calm words, you truly understand it. Alex reflects before sleep. He understands now that critical news analysis is not about finding the right voice. It is about hearing many voices and noticing which ones are missing. It is about understanding that every report is a frame, not a mirror. And frames can be widened. Here is the takeaway for you from this part of our journey. When you listen to news in English, listen for voices. Ask who is speaking and who is not. Notice how language changes with the speaker. This will improve your listening, your speaking, and your confidence. In the next section, we will explore facts, numbers, and how they can feel solid but still be shaped by storytelling. Stay with me. The story is becoming clearer, and so is your English. Headphone. The story moves forward gently, like turning a page late at night when the house is quiet. Alex is sitting at his kitchen table now. There is a glass of water next to him. The light above is warm. He feels calm, but his mind is active in a new way. Today, he wants to understand something that always felt strong and safe to him before. Numbers. Facts. Data. For a long time, Alex believed that numbers in the news were pure truth. He thought, words can lie, but numbers cannot. Many English learners feel the same. Numbers feel clear. They feel universal. But tonight, Alex begins to see another layer. He watches a news report in English about the economy. The reporter says unemployment has dropped by 3%. Alex nods. That sounds good. Then the next channel says millions are still without work. Alex feels confused. Both statements use facts. Both use numbers. But they feel very different. Alex pauses the video. He breathes. He asks himself a calm question. What story is this number trying to tell? This is a powerful moment. Because numbers do not speak alone. They're always placed inside sentences, inside tone, inside context. Alex realizes that a number can be used to create hope or fear, confidence or worry. The number itself does not change. The frame changes. Alex starts listening more carefully. He notices phrases like only, just, as many as, a shocking number of. These small words change how numbers feel. Only 5% feels small. 5% of millions feels big. Alex smiles. He understands now. Language gives numbers emotion. For English learners, this is an important listening skill. You do not need advanced math. You need awareness of how numbers are introduced and explained. Alex continues watching. The reporter shows a graph. The line goes up. The voice sounds positive. Alex notices that the graph starts from a certain point, not from zero. The increase looks dramatic. Alex is not angry. He is curious. He understands that visual choices also tell stories. This makes him feel stronger, not suspicious, but awake. Later, Alex listens to a radio report. There are no images. Only words. The speaker lists statistics quickly. Alex feels lost at first. Then he changes his approach. He stops trying to remember every number. He listens for direction. Is the situation improving or getting worse? Is the speaker comparing past and present? Is there a clear conclusion? When he listens this way, the numbers become signs, not obstacles. This is a gift for English learners. You do not need to catch every detail to understand the message. Alex writes another note in his notebook. Numbers answer, how much, but stories answer, so what? This sentence stays with him. The next day, Alex hears news about health. The report says, experts warn that cases are rising fast. Then it says, the increase is small but steady. Alex notices the contrast. Fast and small together feel confusing. He realizes that words like fast, slow, high, and low are relative. They need comparison. Compared to what? Last week? Last year? Another country? When comparison is missing, the listener fills the space with emotion, often fear. Alex decides not to fill the space too quickly. He waits. He looks for explanation. Sometimes it comes. Sometimes it does not. And that is okay. Not knowing everything is part of being a critical listener. That evening, Alex explains this idea to his younger cousin, who is also learning English. He says, when you hear numbers in the news, do not panic. Just ask, what is this number compared to? His cousin nods. They laugh. English feels friendly in that moment, not heavy. Alex feels the transformation again. He is not just understanding English better. He is thinking better. More slowly. More kindly. He feels less pushed by urgency. He trusts his pace. This trust changes everything. The news becomes a place to practice calm listening, to practice meaning, to practice patience. And here is the reflection I want to share with you. Numbers feel solid, but they still live inside stories. When you listen critically, you respect the facts without losing yourself in them. You let numbers inform you, not overwhelm you. This skill will help you not only with news, but with exams, presentations, and real conversations in English. In the next and final section, we will bring everything together. We will learn how to become not just critical listeners, but confident storytellers of information ourselves. Stay with me. You are very close to the end of this journey and the beginning of a new way of listening. Headphone. Now we arrive at the last part of our journey, and it feels like coming home after a long walk. The road was not easy, but it was gentle. Alex is sitting again by the same window where everything began. Morning light fills the room. The city is waking up. Birds are back. And something inside Alex is different now. The news has not changed. The world has not suddenly become simple or quiet. But Alex has changed. And that change is what truly matters. He opens his phone and looks at the news one more time. Headlines are still strong. Voices are still emotional. Numbers are still moving up and down. But Alex feels steady. He feels like he is standing on solid ground. He knows how to listen now. Not perfectly. Not with full control. But with awareness. And awareness is power. Alex clicks on a story and listens from the beginning. He notices the hook. He smiles slightly. They want my attention here, he thinks. He listens to the context. He asks himself, what is the background? He hears the challenge in the story. A problem. A conflict. He listens to different voices. Officials. Experts. Regular people. He notices which voices are loud and which are quiet. He hears numbers and facts. He listens to how they are framed. He notices the emotion in the voice, the pace, the pauses. And then, something beautiful happens. At the end of the report, Alex closes the app and tells the story to himself in simple words. Not dramatic. Not emotional. Just clear. This happened. These people are involved. There are different opinions. The situation is still developing. That is all. And it is enough. This is the final transformation. Alex is no longer just a listener. He is a storyteller. And this is the highest level of language skill. When you can receive information, understand it calmly, and then retell it in your own clear voice, your English becomes alive. Your confidence grows. Your fear becomes smaller. Alex notices that when he talks to friends now, he does not argue about the news. He shares perspectives. He says things like, one report said this, but another showed a different side. People listen. Conversations become thoughtful, not loud. Alex feels proud, but not in a loud way. in a quiet, warm way. He understands that critical news analysis is not about being right. It is about being balanced. It is about holding information gently without letting it hurt you or harden you. For English learners, this skill is life-changing because news English is often fast, emotional, and complex. But when you approach it like a story, with patience and curiosity, it becomes a powerful learning tool. You learn real vocabulary, real sentence rhythm, real tone. You learn how ideas are built. And you learn how to protect your mind at the same time. Alex creates a small habit. Every day, he chooses one news story. Just one. He listens or reads it fully. Then he asks himself 3 simple questions. What happened? Who is speaking? How does it make me feel and why? Then he lets it go. No endless scrolling. No overload. This habit keeps him informed and calm. And his English improves naturally, without pressure. This is something you can do too. You do not need to understand everything. You do not need to listen for hours. You need intention. You need slowness. You need kindness toward yourself. As our story comes to an end, I want you to reflect for a moment. You started this journey as a listener. Maybe a little tired. Maybe a little overwhelmed by English news. Now you're someone who knows how to pause, observe, and understand. You know that news is storytelling. You know that headlines pull emotions, voices shape meaning, numbers need context, and silence can speak. Most importantly, you know that your understanding matters. Your calm matters. Your voice matters. And this is the final takeaway from Today English podcast. Learning English is not just about words. It is about how you see the world through those words. When you learn to analyze news critically, you do more than improve listening skills. You grow as a thinker, as a speaker, as a human being living in a loud world with a quiet, steady heart. Thank you for staying with this story. Take a deep breath. Carry this calm with you. And remember, you are not here to be rushed by English. You are here to live inside it, slowly, clearly, and confidently, one story at a time. The story does not end suddenly. It slows down, like the last notes of soft music in the background. Alex knows now that understanding the news critically is not a single moment of learning. It is a daily practice. A way of living with information, not fighting it, not running from it, but walking beside it. A few days have passed. Life feels normal again. Work, messages, small conversations, meals, sleep. And in the middle of all this, the news is still there, waiting. One afternoon, Alex decides to practice everything he has learned, very gently. He does not make it a big task. He does not say, "Today I will analyze the news deeply." He simply says, "Today I will listen carefully." He turns on a short news clip in English while making coffee. The voice starts speaking. Alex listens without judging. He notices the speed. It is fast. He smiles. That's okay, he thinks. He listens for familiar words. He lets unfamiliar words pass like clouds. He focuses on the main idea. What is this story about? Slowly, the meaning appears. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. And enough is good. The report ends. Alex does not rewind. He does not check a dictionary. He stands quietly for a moment and tells the story to himself. Something happened in another country. People are reacting. The future is uncertain. He feels calm. He feels successful. This is real progress. Not loud. Not dramatic. Real. Later that evening, Alex watches a longer discussion program. 2 people are talking. They disagree politely. Their English is clear but advanced. Alex does not understand every sentence, but he understands the positions. One speaker sounds cautious. The other sounds hopeful. Alex notices the tone more than the words. He notices how disagreement can be calm, respectful. This teaches him not only language, but communication. He learns that you can talk about serious topics without shouting, without fear. This is a powerful lesson, especially for English learners who are afraid to speak about complex ideas. Alex realizes something important. Critical listening gives birth to confident speaking. When you listen with awareness, you speak with balance. The next day, Alex tries something new. He chooses one news story and listens to it from two different sources. He does not compare details. He compares feelings. One report makes him feel worried. The other makes him feel thoughtful. He asks himself why. He notices the music, the images, the words. This practice sharpens his understanding. He is not trying to catch mistakes. He is trying to see the full picture. And with each practice, his English becomes more natural in his mind. He starts to think in English when listening, not translating every word. This is a big step. A quiet step, but a big one. Alex also notices that his listening stamina has improved. He can listen longer without feeling tired, without feeling lost. This is because his mind is no longer fighting the language. It is flowing with it. This is what we want for you too. Flow, not force. Alex begins to share his habit with others, not as advice, but as experience. He says, I listen to one story a day and then let it go. People like this idea. Some try it. Some don't. That is okay. Alex understands that learning is personal. What matters is that he has found his rhythm. As the weeks go by, the news no longer feels like a storm. It feels like weather. Sometimes sunny, sometimes cloudy, sometimes heavy, but always passing. Alex knows when to open the window and when to close it. This wisdom is the final transformation. And now I want to speak directly to you as we close this long, gentle journey together. You do not need to be an expert to analyze news critically. You do not need perfect English. You need patience. You need awareness. You need to listen like a human, not like a machine. When you practice this skill, your English listening will improve naturally. Your speaking will become clearer. Your thoughts will feel more organized. And your emotions will feel safer. This is the true goal of Today English podcast. Not just to teach English, but to help you live inside English with confidence and calm. So here is your final takeaway. Choose one story. Listen slowly. Notice the voice. Notice the emotion. Notice yourself. Then let the story rest. Do this again tomorrow. And the next day. This is how fluency grows. This is how understanding deepens. This is how you become not just an English learner, but a calm, confident storyteller in your own life. Thank you for listening. Stay curious. Stay gentle. And I will meet you again, right here, with another story, another voice, and another quiet step forward in your English journey. Headphone. Let us slow down even more now. This last part is not about learning something new. It is about letting everything you have heard settle gently inside you. Imagine Alex again. There is no news playing now. No phone in his hand. He is taking a walk in a small park near his home. Trees move softly in the wind. People pass by. Life feels normal. And this is important, because the goal of critical listening was never to stay inside the news. The goal was to return to life with a clearer mind. As Alex walks, he thinks about how different he feels compared to a few weeks ago. Back then, news felt heavy. English felt fast and demanding. Now, English feels like a familiar voice. Not always easy, but not scary. He understands that fluency is not speed. Fluency is comfort. It is the ability to stay calm even when you do not understand everything. Alex remembers how he used to stop listening when a word confused him. Now he keeps going. He trusts the meaning will come. And often it does. This trust is something you have been building too, quietly, while listening to this long story. Alex sits on a bench. He watches people. He notices that everyone is living inside their own stories. The news talks about big events, big problems, big changes. But life is made of small moments. Walks, breaths, conversations. And English lives there too. Not only in headlines, but in simple thoughts and gentle understanding. Alex realizes that analyzing news critically has helped him beyond the news. He listens better to people. He notices tone when someone speaks. He understands that words are not just meaning, but feeling. This makes him a better friend, a better colleague, a better speaker. And this is the deepest transformation of all. Language learning changes how you see the world. Alex decides something important. He will not chase every story. He will choose. He will stay informed, but not overwhelmed. He will use English to connect, not to worry. This decision feels like freedom. And now, before we say goodbye, I want to speak directly to you one last time. You stayed with this long journey. That already tells me something about you. You are patient. You are curious. You care about understanding, not just learning words. Remember this. You do not need to listen harder. You need to listen kinder. To yourself. To the language. To the world. When you hear English news, slow it down in your mind. Turn noise into story. Turn fear into questions. Turn confusion into curiosity. This is how you grow. This is how fluency becomes part of you. Not something you chase, but something you live. This is the quiet ending of our story, but it is also a beginning. Tomorrow, when you hear English again, remember Alex. Remember yourself. Take a breath. And listen like a storyteller. Thank you for being here with Today English Podcast. Until next time, stay calm, stay curious, and keep walking forward, one gentle. There is nothing dramatic left to say now, and that is exactly the point. This final part is like the soft echo after a long conversation, when the words stop, but the feeling remains. Alex is back in his daily life. There is work to do, messages to answer, small problems, small joys. English is still around him in podcasts, in videos, in short news clips that appear when he is not even looking for them. But something has settled inside him. When English news starts playing, he no longer feels the need to prepare himself. He does not tense his shoulders. He does not say, "This will be hard." He simply listens. Sometimes he understands a lot. Sometimes only a little. And both are okay. This calm acceptance is the final skill and the most important one. Alex notices that he now hears patterns instead of pressure. He hears how stories begin, how they build, how they end. He hears how voices rise when they want attention and soften when they want trust. He hears English not as a test, but as a flow. And, because of that, English starts to live inside him more naturally. One evening, Alex catches himself explaining a news story in English to himself while washing dishes. He is not trying to practice. It just happens. The words are simple. The sentences are clear. He does not search for perfect grammar. He searches for meaning. This is fluency. Not speed. Not perfection. But ease. Alex smiles and continues washing the dishes. Life goes on. And that is the greatest success. The news has returned to its proper place. Not the center of his emotions, but one small window to the world. English has also found its place. Not a mountain to climb, but a path to walk. Slowly. Kindly. Every day. And now, as this long journey truly comes to rest, I want you to take one final breath with me. You do not need to remember every idea. You do not need to repeat every lesson. What matters is the feeling you have now. A feeling that says, I can listen. I can pause. I can understand in my own time. Carry that feeling with you. into the next news story, into the next conversation, into the next moment when English appears in your life. This is not the end of learning. It is the beginning of trust. Trust in your ears. Trust in your mind. Trust in your voice. Thank you for staying until the very end with Today English podcast. The story rests here, but your listening journey continues quietly, confidently, one calm English moment at a time. Headphone. This part feels like early morning again, before the world decides what it wants from you. Alex wakes up naturally, without an alarm. The room is quiet. For a moment, he does nothing. No phone. No news. Just breathing. And this moment matters more than it seems. Because this is where real listening begins. Not when sound arrives, but when the mind is ready to receive it. Later, while eating breakfast, Alex hears the news playing softly in the background. He did not choose it. It is just there. And something interesting happens. He does not lean forward. He does not try hard. He listens without trying. The words come and go. Some stay, some leave. But there is no stress. And because there is no stress, understanding comes more easily. This is a deep lesson for English learners. Effort is important, but forcing is not. When you relax, your brain connects meaning naturally. Alex notices that he understands the main idea without effort. He knows what the story is about. He knows the tone. He knows whether it matters to him or not. And that is enough. He turns the news off and continues his day. English does not follow him like a shadow anymore. It walks beside him like a friend. During the day, Alex hears a colleague mention a news event. Alex understands immediately. He joins the conversation calmly. He says, "I heard about that." Different reports say different things. His colleague nods. The conversation moves on. No tension. No need to prove anything. This moment shows how far Alex has come. He is using English naturally, without preparing, without fear. And this is what happens when listening becomes gentle. In the evening, Alex reflects again. He realizes that critical listening is not about being alert all the time. It is about knowing when to engage and when to step back. This balance protects the mind. It also protects motivation. English learning becomes sustainable, enjoyable, human. And now, I want you to take this idea with you. You do not need to analyze every story deeply. Choose your moments. Choose your energy. Some days, just listen. Some days, think more. Both are learning. Both are progress. This is the final quiet wisdom of our long story. When you stop trying to control English, English starts to flow through you. Slowly. Naturally. Kindly. Thank you for staying present until this moment. The voice you heard throughout this journey is not just mine. It is becoming yours. And that is the most beautiful ending of all. Headphone. Our story now opens like a small window into everyday life. Alex is sitting in a cafe, a warm cup of tea in his hands. Around him, people talk in many languages. Some speak English, some other languages. He notices voices rising and falling, laughs, pauses, questions, answers. Alex remembers all that he has learned, noticing emotion in headlines, listening for different voices, understanding numbers and context, allowing space for silence. And he begins to realize something new. Listening is not just for information. Listening is practice for conversation. When you hear English carefully, you're preparing to speak it naturally. A simple question a barista asks is now easier for Alex to understand. He hears the rhythm of the sentence. He notices the small word that carries emphasis. He notices pauses that signal attention. And this awareness changes everything. Alex replies naturally, not rehearsed. Words come slowly, simply, clearly. His English does not feel like a task anymore. It feels like part of life. While sitting there, Alex overhears two people discussing news on a screen behind the cafe. One person is worried. The other is calm. Alex listens carefully. He does not judge. He does not interrupt. He notices their tones, their words, their pauses. He notices the frames of their story. And then he smiles. He realizes that critical listening is not just about understanding a distant story. It is about understanding people, about noticing their voices, and using your own voice wisely. This is a subtle transformation. Alex no longer feels the pressure of perfect comprehension. He feels the joy of interaction. English has become a bridge between him and people, between him and ideas, between him and the world. Later, walking home, Alex recalls a story from a news video. He retells it quietly to himself in simple English, summarizing the main idea and the voices involved. This practice strengthens both listening and speaking. It also builds memory and confidence. And here is the takeaway for you. Every time you listen carefully, even to one small story, you are preparing to speak clearly. You are practicing rhythm, tone, vocabulary, and structure without pressure. You are turning observation into conversation. This is a powerful skill for English learners at any level. And as Alex closes the cafe door behind him and steps into the evening light, he feels a quiet satisfaction. Listening has become more than understanding words. It has become a life skill, a habit, a practice. And this is the final lesson of today's story. When you listen deeply, you do not just understand. You grow. You connect. You speak. And that is the true heart of fluent, confident English. Headphone. As Alex continues his journey, he begins to notice something he had never paid attention to before: patterns. He realizes that news, even in English, often repeats itself in style, in phrasing, in structure. The same words, the same emotional cues, the same types of stories appear again and again. At first, this felt overwhelming, but now Alex sees it as a gift. Patterns are like a map. They help him navigate fast, complex English without panic. One morning, Alex opens an international news podcast. He listens to a political story. The host begins with a dramatic hook. Alex smiles quietly to himself. He recognizes it. They're grabbing attention, he thinks. Then the host introduces numbers. Alex notices the words used to frame them. Only, just, shocking millions. He nods. These are familiar patterns. He does not get lost. Next, voices appear. Experts, officials, affected people. Again, he sees the pattern. Context first, challenge second, then interpretation, then emotion. Alex begins to mentally mark these sections, like chapters in a story. For English learners, this is a powerful listening strategy. Instead of trying to catch every word, you notice structure. You notice repetition. You notice patterns of expression. Alex practices this throughout the day. He listens to a short news clip. He pauses after each segment. He labels it in his mind: hook, context, challenge, realization. This process slows him down, but also gives him confidence. He begins to anticipate how the next part will sound, what language will be used, what rhythm will appear. This anticipation is not guessing. It is preparing the mind to understand meaning, not just words. Later, Alex discusses the story with a friend in English. He does not focus on dramatic phrases. He summarizes using simple, calm sentences. This happened. These people are affected. Experts say different things. His friend nods and continues the conversation naturally. Alex feels calm and capable. By noticing patterns, listening becomes less exhausting. Words are no longer scattered noise. They form a rhythm, a predictable flow. And that flow allows him to connect facts, voices, and emotions clearly. Alex reflects before bed. He realizes that news patterns are like a teacher. They repeat lessons in English without forcing grammar rules or lists of vocabulary. By observing structure, he has absorbed fluency naturally. And this is the reflection I want you to carry with you. English, especially in news and storytelling, often follows patterns. Hooks, context, challenge, exploration, realization, reflection. When you recognize the rhythm, your mind moves from confusion to understanding. Your listening becomes active. Your speaking becomes organized. And your confidence grows, quietly but steadily. As Alex closes his eyes to sleep, he feels that he has not only learned English better. He has learned how to navigate the world of information with awareness, patience, and clarity. Patterns are not limits. Alex's journey now moves to a quieter, deeper space. He has learned to listen carefully, notice voices, understand numbers, and see patterns. But he encounters something new: decisions. Not about English grammar or vocabulary, but about what to believe, what to trust, and what to share. One evening, Alex watches a news story about a natural disaster. He feels the usual emotions rise: concern, empathy, even anxiety. But now he pauses. He remembers everything he has practiced. He asks himself, who is speaking? Who is not speaking? What numbers are given, and how are they framed? Are there patterns here? Slowly, he sorts the information. He notices the local voices telling their experiences. He notices the official statements giving general facts. He notices the visuals and the music designed to make him feel urgency. And then he makes a quiet decision. He will not react impulsively. He will understand first. He will not share the story with fear or judgment. He will share only what is clear and calm. For English learners, this is a subtle but essential skill. Listening is not just about comprehension. It is about thinking critically and emotionally. It is about learning to pause, reflect, and choose responses carefully. Alex tries this again the next day. Another story. Different topic. He notices sensational phrases in headlines. He notices how numbers are highlighted for emotional effect. He listens slowly. He sorts facts, opinions, and missing voices. He writes a simple summary in English for himself. What happened? Who is involved? Different views. Unknowns. This practice makes his mind calm. It makes his English precise. His sentence is short, clear, and accurate. He even shares one of these summaries with a friend. His friend listens. The conversation is calm. They discuss the story without panic. Alex feels proud. Not proud like showing off. Proud because he has mastered a subtle power, the power of his own mind and voice. Listening critically is not just a classroom skill. It is life skill. Alex realizes that the news can be overwhelming, but his careful attention allows him to participate thoughtfully without being swept away. And this is a major transformation. He is no longer a passive listener. He is a participant, a thoughtful editor, a calm storyteller. And the reflection here is simple. English learning is about more than words. It is about judgment, awareness, and choice. When you listen critically, you train your brain to notice detail, separate fact from opinion, and communicate clearly. This practice strengthens both your English and your mind. Before bed, Alex thinks about the journey. He remembers the hooks, the voices, the numbers, the patterns, and now his own choices. He smiles. Each skill built on the previous one. Each step creating confidence. And here is the final takeaway from this section. When you listen in English, practice being your own editor. Choose what is important. Choose what is calm. Choose what you can explain clearly. This will not only make your English stronger, It will make you a better thinker, speaker, and listener in every part of life. And with that, Alex feels ready for any story tomorrow, any conversation, any challenge, all with steady listening, clear understanding, and a calm voice. Headphone.